let's take Redemption, which is a great example. You know, big action scene when they come to the school to kidnap the kids, and he has that big action scene. Now that big action scene is not in the script. That big action scene I made up at that location because, first of all, action, you know, screenwriters write action, but they haven't seen the location. So action always connects to the location, always. You can't find a location that is exactly like someone wrote it. You know, you're not a big feature. In a big feature, you could just build whatever set you want the way it was written for action. When you're doing television or smaller productions, you're going to find a place and then adjust the action to the place. So in that case, in Redemption, for example, and I think it's even in behind the scenes, you can see it. I get Kiefer and I walk through every single piece of the action with him, you know, without the guys there. Or sometimes I even have the guys there so we can look at them. And I say, here's where you start. You throw the dynamite. You shoot those two guys. The two guys fall down. Okay, come with me. You're going to run. When you run, there's going to be bullet hits on the ground. Then you're going to get to this tree. You know, and then maybe he says, you know, I want to roll to the tree. Okay, great. So you can roll to the tree. And I walk through every part of the action scene right to the very end. So we don't act it out, but I show him all the pieces. You know, and I will do that not with just Kiefer, with everybody for action. You just got to show them what all the pieces are, and then action's very different than you know, dialogue scenes. Dialogue scenes I like to shoot all in one piece, not in one shot, but all in one piece. From the very beginning to the very end, I want to do all the dialogue together. I don't like to break it up. Action's completely different. Action is you do this piece, runs out of the shot, cut. Do the next piece, runs out of the shot, cut. You have to do it all in pieces. So when I do action, it's very different. You know, it's a different process, but I will still do that without the crew. Just me and Kiefer or the actor and the stunt people maybe, so they can show him what's happening. If it's a fight, he's usually rehearsed it already, so he knows what that is. We try to do that the day before. But basically, I just walk through all the action so he knows what it all is. What the dangerous part is saying, okay, you're here, let's just shoot this part. You're shooting behind the car and then you run out of the shot. You know, because then you get to the next part and you say you run over here and he goes, oh, why am I doing that? Well, I should have gone that way, you know. And then you go, oh, yeah, I didn't tell you where you were going. That's the worst thing you can do. You want to walk right from the very beginning. Sometimes that takes an hour, and everyone's looking at you like, oh my God, we're wasting so much time. But whatever time you use to do this, I am guaranteeing you that the rest of your day is going to go 100 times better. You know, because then when I walk it with Kiefer, then I go, bring the crew in, let's do the exact same thing. And now Kiefer actually does the part. He hides behind the tree, he shoots, he runs, the crew watches it, they put all the marks down, we go right all the way through the whole action scene. Here's a helicopter, whatever's happening, I show them all everything. So now the crew knows everything. So when I set up the first shot, a camera operator can say, oh, you know, you're gonna do this next, why don't we do this? And they can come right into that shot. Great idea. And he came up with that idea because he knew what the next piece was. If I only showed him the one piece, he could have never came up with that idea. So again, it took that day, it took an hour and a half to show everyone that whole scene. But then we shot it like that. It was one shot right after another. Bang, 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 and we shot it in no time because everybody knew what all of it was. And that's really important. Once again, I go back to what I talked about at the very beginning. It's great to have it all in your head. It's great to be a great director up here, but until you show everybody and tell everybody what it's going to be, they can't help you. It's only going to be you. You need their help. Don't ever think you don't need their help. You need their help. It's very important. Well, my approach on this right away is, because again, the television world is so fast, is that you have to have really good people that do a fantastic first pass. That's the key to this. Because you don't have the time to go in and put all the music cues in. You just don't. You don't have it. And don't think you'll ever have it, even as a student. Get someone that's really good at that and make sure that they do it. Once they do it, once they do the first pass, and this is for editing, you know, for an editor does a first pass completely by himself with no input from you at all. That's the way I like to work. Let them do a pass on it. It really helps when the editor knows you and knows your footage and knows the way you shoot. On a television series, that comes because you're doing episode after episode after episode, so they get to really know the way you like to see things. And let them do that first pass. And that first pass, if these people are talented, is going to be pretty much where you're going to be with the show. You know, it's a good base of what the show is. Same with sound design. Then it's your job really to go in and say, I didn't like that. You know, that scene's too slow. move that scene from here to here. Then you fine tune it, but you're not cutting it right from the very beginning. I mean, in the television world, you're not. If you're doing your own project at school, you could be the editor also. So at that point, then you're going to do it yourself. But it's really important to make sure that these people, I guess what I'm saying, they have a mind of their own. They have a vision of what that show is also. You know, they're not waiting, the editor's not waiting for you to say, cut right here, cut right here, cut right here. Because that then you don't even have an editor. You might as well just do it yourself. You know, if you're going to get an editor, get a guy that has a vision. Get a guy that's going to put it together. Let him take the footage and just go with it. You know, he can get it completely wrong. It doesn't matter. But I'll tell you what's good about that. What's good about that is he's going to do things you never thought of, because you shot it a certain way and you think about it a certain way. Like I said, you've made the movie in your head, you know, but there's always a better way to make the movie. So you've made the movie in your head, you give him the footage, he can then cut it. It's not the first time I go in and go, wow, that's not what I had in mind at all, but that's really good. And so now he's made your show better. And again, what we talked about before, it's trust to the people to make your show better. You know, I could have sat with that same guy and said, cut here, cut here, cut here, and I would have never got his vision into the show. You know, this way, he did his version, and then I come in and then I start fixing it and making what I can. I have an editor on 24. I make 2 or 3 cuts in the show. I change 2 or 3 things and we're done, because I've worked with him. I've done 20 shows with him now. So he knows exactly what I like, and he cuts it in a way that he knows is going to be the way that we've finally, you know, give it to the studio. So that's what I do in the post. Same with sound. I mean, I'm not an expert on a board like this. I don't know how this works. I don't know levels. I know what I see and what I hear and what I like and what I don't like. So I let them do it all first, and then I can come in and go, that was too loud. I didn't hear that dialogue. I want the music to come up a little sooner. The music was too boring. It needs to be more exciting. And then I fix it. You know, but to start from scratch on all those things, those are all big full-time jobs. You can't think as a director that you can do all those things, unless you're doing a 2-minute short and then you're going to do it all yourself. When you're doing something bigger, you have to trust those people. And even if you're doing a 2-minute short, I still recommend get someone that loves that job and let them do it first. And then you can adjust it, because you're going to get a whole new vision of it that you never had, which is going to make your product better.